this is sudden, but here's some trivia for you, as you seem to have finished your class. The name rum and cola is actually a nickname. Do you know the real name of this drink? It's called the Cuba Libre. The rum called for in this drink represents Cuba. This is a cocktail which mixed the national specialties of Cuba and the United States as a celebration of Cuba's independence. Cuba Libre means free Cuba. It tastes differently when you know the history. And that was the cocktail trivia for tonight.
What is up, everybody? This is the Crappy Gamer, bringing you the first of hopefully many top 10 lists, in my personal opinion. I want to make that clear right now that this is in my personal opinion. It has nothing to do with the overall greatness of each individual list. I am no expert. I've played quite a lot of games, but there are significantly more people out there that have played significantly more games and have significantly more expertise and opinion on this. This is my personal opinion on my top 10 of each category, and we are starting off the whole endeavor with the most cliche thing I could do, which is the top 10 heroes in my personal video gaming experience. So without further ado, here we go. We are checking out number 10, as you can see on... Sorry, just gotta move this on the screen, hopefully. And that is Cole McGrath. Cole is the protagonist of Infamous and Infamous 2. I think he's in a couple other ones. I actually got to play Infamous when the PlayStation Network collapsed in on itself about almost 10 years ago. Actually, probably right about then. We're almost getting to that point. So I finally got a chance to play it. Unfortunately, it came with bad tidings and bad times. But yeah, it was an interesting experience. It actually coincided in a lot of ways with Prototype. So much so that Prototype's protagonist Alex Mercer and Cole were often compared to and contrasted and pitted against one another in a lot of ways to see who would be the better of the two. Now, I don't want to dive into that one myself. That can be a whole nother video arguing one side or the other. But for me in this situation, what I liked about Cole, and as you'll see, Alex Mercer is actually not on the heroes character list. He is on one of my top 10 lists, but just not on this one. But what I liked about, or I guess what I liked but felt a lot of pity for with Cole, in particular, is there's a lot of very, very moral and immoral choices you have to choose throughout the game with Cole, and the consequences have long-term effects towards the ending of the game and his character in the short term and how people view him. Probably, and this is a spoiler, so if you have not played it, please fast forward like a minute or two. But you are given the option of saving either your girlfriend or I think like 2 or 3 people that are hanging off of a building or something, and the choice you make between the two drastically affects the outcome of the entire game, the ending, and such and such and such. I don't want to give any more info on the game. The game itself is fantastic. It's a little tedious when it comes to fighting off enemies. You really have to kind of like grind and wear down a lot of enemies. Not necessarily because they're difficult, it's just they have so much damn health and your skill set is like not that strong for the most part. Oh god, I want to play this game again now so bad. But there's a, I don't know, there's a small twinge of nostalgia from the time period I was playing, even though it was kind of a rough period. But I just really like the challenge towards Cole's morality and his moral compass. And you have the option of either making him a good man, roughly a good man, or a pretty evil dude. And it's kind of one of those questions, and you can see it in the picture as well. Being given godlike powers, would you use it for good or would you use it for evil? And it is a cliche, but you're given the opportunity. I mean, in probably one of the best ways I've seen in a long time in video games, you can be, a god, like a good human being god to a lot of people, or you can really, really take the piss out of a lot of people. So I thought that was really interesting, and I like that it makes Cole, it shapes him, and I was going to choose a lot of other characters that you can do that, but that's kind of cheating. So I didn't Fallout. I could have done that with Fallout, but Fallout is really you. You know what I mean? So every single individual character is going to be unique. Cole kind of fits into that mold, so that makes it kind of cheating. But there's still enough of who he is as a person in the game that I was willing to stick with him and put him at number 10. Number 9 is Mr. Clayman. God, this is a great picture too. It's pretty cool. He almost looks, what is that? Paper mache right here. But he is supposed to be clay. Obviously the name Clayman, but the whole game, Skull Monkeys, is actually clay animation, which is pretty amazing considering how amazing clay animation is, but that's amazing to make it into a game. And this fella is quite the character. I've never played the original game. Unfortunately, I think the original was a PC game, so I've not been able to get it like emulator-wise or anything. The second one, Skull Monkeys, that I'm talking about here, that I know him from, is PS1. And as you can see, I don't think my I was gonna say my mouse isn't showing up anymore, but that little doohickey on top of his head, that's actually.
This is the last week they're gonna be showing it in the theaters, remember? What? I don't know what I'm gonna do if I miss it.
Yeah, okay. Can we wait till tomorrow? I've kind of got some stuff to take care of today.
Excuse me. That's actually where he not defecates, but he releases flatulence out of. And actually utilizes it as a weapon in the game where he essentially farts. The cloud comes back, hits him in the face, stuns him, and then he leaves a silhouette basically of himself, but it's a fart cloud. And then you're allowed to traverse the level. Essentially, it's like picking up. It's one of the two things where it's like picking up the super or the mushroom, I guess, in Super Mario Brothers. So you get an extra hit. The same thing would be with the Halo. He's able to release his hands to create missiles and a number of other things. The reason I picked him is because he's a really fucking goofy character. Never talks for the most part. He makes little noises here and there, but I don't know. There was just something. I don't know. There's something really, really cool about how you can make a character so personable and so likable, and they don't even talk. There's another character that's going to be on here that's similar. Oh wow! I just realized what I wrote down. Wow. Okay. But anyways, that's why I have him up here, and so he is my number 9. By the way, Cole McGrath again, number 10. Number 9, it's Clayman from, in my world, Skull Monkeys. And number 8 is the only female in the group. I noticed this. I actually missed 2 characters that easily could have been on this. Truly. Actually, yeah. Well, I guess I'll mention them at the end if I remember again. But Joanna is actually the only female character. A lot of people consider her kind of the, I guess in some ways, the poor man's Lara Croft. I've never really played. I played a little bit, but never really fully played Tony Hawk Tomb Raider. But I did play Perfect Dark, finished Perfect Dark. And, yeah, Joanna was one of my first real big crushes as a video game character. Granted, she looks stupidly hot in this picture compared to her N64 character. I mean, obviously, there's a drastic difference in...
It doesn't matter. But from now on, if you ever cheat on me, I'll be angry.
Ooh. God, I really want to play this game now, damn it. But yeah, this is obviously a much better version. And then there's her signature gun, the Falcon with the scope on it. But Joanna was pretty cool. She had this kind of suave confidence about her. But was also very stoic in a lot of ways. But I don't know, she was badass. And yeah, I mean, it was the very first person shooter game that I ever finished, and it was with her, so she gets credit for that as well. So yeah, that's why in my opinion she's up there. Honestly, I really screwed up. I missed 2 people again. But I can only think of one now. I know of one. Like, I really fucked up on that one. I'm going to say it right now. Mario. Mario's not even on here. But, and I know there's probably more personality in Mario nowadays, but my Mario existence up until just very recently has been Super Mario World, and he doesn't interact a whole lot, so that's why he's not quite a part of this one, at least why I was willing to leave him out of this. Wow, I actually can't remember who the other one is. It'll come back to me. But there is another person. But in any case, that is number 8 to me. And number 7 is Travis Touchdown from the No More Heroes series. The thing that I think that really drew me into him is the kind of, you know, lives by himself, no girlfriend, interested in girls but no girlfriend, has a cat, kind of a video game slash anime nerd into swordplay. I mean, like he's I think what a lot of us video gamers would like to be as a superhero character. He's quite a bit relatable, although albeit.
Is for you to be with me. You can do whatever you want, okay?
Whatever I want. It's not like I can stay here with you. The thing is, Vince, the whole kid thing would have to be off the table.
Oh. Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. Anyways, yeah, he's kind of like the epitome of what we would love in the world. Minus the fact that he doesn't have a girlfriend, fiance, wife, whatever, boyfriend, husband, doesn't matter. Relationship aside, he's like badass. The only thing that really irritates me is how he just. I guess maybe it's implied that he learned his swordplay skills from video games or something. I don't know, but just his badass nature is so awesome, and the game is funny as hell, and he is funny as hell, and his voice actor is phenomenal. The whole series has great voice actors, but I don't know, he's kind of like one of the things we aspire to as a weird, geeky, dorky video game enthusiasts, I guess. At least I think so. Alright. At number 5, so we're halfway there, is Sir Tongara de Pepero Chao the Third. And he is the main protagonist of Clockwork Knight, one of my favorite games of all time, and one of my favorites off the Sega Saturn. Is he left-handed? I don't think he's actually left-handed, so this might be inverted. I could be wrong, though. I don't know. Excuse me, I don't remember. But, I guess for him, a lot of this is based, off of nostalgia. No doubt about it. But I also feel and relate to him. He gets bullied a lot at the beginning of the game by a lot of the other toys as he's trying to impress the princess. And I think we all, or at least most of us in some ways, have been in that situation. And so the ability to rescue the one that we really, really, love and care about and prove everyone wrong is kind of an awesome opportunity. And you get to do that with Pepper, as he's called, and so I think that's pretty cool. Not more to say about him. I know he probably should be lower because he doesn't have a whole lot of internal dialogue and external dialogue, but just nostalgia really put him into the number 5 slot. I mean, the other four could have easily made it in this slot, and I would have been completely content. And again, Mario's not even on here. He should really be on here, but this is my list, so I don't care. But that's why Pepper's on here. I'm going to zoom this in a little bit. I know it's going to look pretty bad. At number 5, that was number 6, is Sam Porter Bridges. And as you can see right there... Oh my god, I forgot his name again. Are you kidding me? It's one of those days. Someone's over there going, it's this. Yeah, I know, you're probably right, but... Oh, I forgot. Why are you showing me images? Oh, Norman Reedus. There we go. I mean, he has such a unique name, too. I don't know why I would forget it. Anyways, Norman Reedus, as you can tell by now, and have probably yelled at me enough times to be raw, is the... Oh, I see. This is that life size. Oh. There we go. Mistake.
I'm not good looking. I don't have any money. So no matter how you spin it, I'm no good for you.
Been there and used that excuse. For real reasons, too.
need to end this. I'll do anything else you ask of me.
Anything else? What else is there?
I really like this mix. This is pretty well done. Anyways, I believe this is the live, not the live action, but the full-size model they made of him. But yes, Norman Reedus plays Sam Porter. British did a phenomenal job all the way around. For anyone that just happens to not know who Norman Reedus is, he's also excruciatingly, probably most of all, famous for being Daryl in The Walking Dead. But I know that he had prior engagements or prior correspondence with Hideo Kojima, and they had wanted to make a game prior, and I guess it fell through, and so then this was finally the opportunity for the two to work together, and hence that's what happened. The thing about Sam is there's a lot of mystery behind who he is and what he is and why he is how he is, and you learn a lot about him throughout the game. And I feel in a lot of ways he learns about himself throughout the game, but then there's also a lot of things that we get to finally uncover about our character, and that mystery about who we are and why we are, or whatnot, I think is really cool. There's the right amount of stoicness that's very Japanese in games. And then emotions that I don't know, makes him a really cool but approachable character. And yeah, I mean, that's why I really like how they did that, and I'm glad that they chose him, actually. That was a great... I mean, Hideo Kojima's games, they've always done a good job of picking and choosing voice actors and actresses, and I think they hit one out of the park with this one, myself. Anyways, that's my number 5. At number 4... is the man Kratos. I have, now we're getting into some characters I've known for a long time. Kratos has been around my world since 2006, I guess? 2005, 2006? Something like that? And, yeah, I've been following it ever since. I'm really into how he's matured as a character, for being just this, bloodthirsty, just whipping his blades around and trying to get revenge and blah blah blah, which worked during the time period that he first came out. But if you look at the change in, I guess, perception of heroes and what a lot of us are looking for. We're looking for characters with a little more dimension to their personality. They did so with Kratos and made him especially in the picture you're seeing there. That's from the latest one in the Viking, I guess, arc, and he's still the same Kratos, and there's that still. The hell do you want? Go away. There's that same deep-seated rage, but there's a wisdom and kind of a experienced calmness that I really like when it comes to who he is now. So I really like the transition of character of Kratos, and yeah, I'm really excited to see what the rest of the future holds. I know they made it so that way it'll continue on, which is awesome. But considering his past, and they made it easy to develop a sense of sympathy and empathy towards him. His maturity has made it much easier to feel those things and to want to, root for not only his path, I guess, to maybe justice, but overcoming what he's dealt with, and to be a better person, especially now that a son is involved, that hopefully he can, avoid having his son endure a similar fate to what he himself is dealing with. So I really like that with Kratos, and that is number 4. At number 3, sorry again, I know it's really small. A lot of these pictures, I could not put them on here, so it's pretty annoying. This is Ezio Auditore di Firenze. Probably easily the face of the Assassin's Creed franchise. He has the most games out of any individual character in the franchise. We got there might have been a handheld that I don't know of, but we had we only had 3. Is it really only 3? That's still a lot. Is it 1, 2? I think it's 2 Brotherhood Revelation. I think it is 3. But still, he is the, I guess, most utilized. Although nowadays the least talked about, it seems like. And a number of things that we take for granted today in that video game series came through him. As you can see, he utilizes the dual hidden blades, something that we utilize quite a lot nowadays in the game. But the fact that we really got to experience Ezio as a teen and then work our way up until pretty close to his final days, I thought was really cool. And you actually do get to experience his final days if you watch the video that came, I think, later after the game. I can't remember. But he's the only one we've really got to experience almost from top to bottom. Some of his biggest emotional ups and downs and his physical, accomplishments and such. They really gave you a chance to develop a bond with him. And there's other characters, there's other main characters in the series that you do develop. It's been easier since Origins because you're stuck with that character for eons. So that's kind of cheating. But with the original game, the original pre-Origin games, Ezio easily is one of the most impactful characters. I know in particular, I'll just say re-meeting Christina and then going through that mission sucks. sucked then, and it would really suck now, personally. And anyone that has gone through that experience, not quite to his extent, but in general, would say it sucks. But it's an impactful moment. So that's why Ezio is going to end up being my number 3. I mean, I followed him for what? Probably 5 years. Seems like 5 years. I invested in him, and that's pretty important because then going into number 2. Is Solid Snake. Now, I could have put Big Boss in here as well, and I probably should put Big Boss in here to a certain extent, but Solid Snake was, for the most part, the one that I followed. And going off the idea that I invested myself into a character for a set amount of years, no one is more reflective of this than Solid Snake. So I had my first experience with Snake in 1998 in a demo for Metal Gear Solid, and then finally played through Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear 2, Metal Gear 3, which included Big Boss actually as the character, and then finally at this point, as you can see on the left, that is Metal Gear Solid 4. But there have been other games past that do not necessarily include Snake, Solid Snake, and includes a different character. So honestly, the series as a whole is where that should be when it comes to the hero character. But seeing Snake grow and just accepting who he is and his role in society is pretty powerful enough. But biased wise, the fact that I spent most of my formative, late childhood, early adolescence, and then adolescence years with him and with that series is a huge impact on who I am as a video game player, and so naturally he needs to be up here. But yeah, I've always liked how much of a variation there is to Solid Snake. Oh, I see Mario did show up, but he got stuck. It says Solid Snake Mario. Mario should actually be right in this area too. I'm going to talk about him anyway, so he's going to be side by side. Mario, I don't have a picture of it up here set up, but Mario is the same way in that one of my first actually he was probably the first major video game protagonist that I really remember and appreciated, and then didn't get to play a whole lot after that. Believe it or not, Super Mario World was it, and then for the longest time I didn't play anything again Mario related until just recently with all the emulators, and now I've been playing all the other games and trying to educate myself 20 years later. But Mario should be right around this spot anyways. But there you go. That's why Solid Snake is number 2. And at number 1 are we still playing this? Oh, we are still playing this. Is the man who the music is for, Vincent Brooks. Vincent is from Catherine. And the reason why I chose him, I mean, I've only played one game with Vincent, and I believe there's only one game with Vincent in it, which is Catherine. But what I liked about Vincent, and what I like about Vincent to this day, on top of the fact that that game is probably my favorite game of all time, is how realistic he is in a lot of ways. Obviously, even more so to men, the idea of choosing between commitment, which is the whole point of the game, is the choosing between the Catherine, who is this fiance that wants commitment, and then the other Catherine, who represents the freedom and the ability to do whatever you want. And essentially, it's the idea between growing up and staying a kid, and what guy in his lifetime, for the most part, doesn't find himself in that situation. The fact that he is very insecure about himself, and as you can see, not the most macho looking guy in the world. In fact, he's really not macho at all. Really resonated with me because he was relatable. I think a lot of us that are video game players are not beefcakes that can, there are some, I'm sure, but for the most part, we're average Joes that are just trying to get by in life and doing what we got to do. And Vincent's one of those kind of guys. I mean, he is the most relatable superhero, quote superhero protagonist character I've ever seen, and I really, really enjoy that fact. That he's so relatable to so many video gamers. On top of the fact that the game in general is just absolutely brilliant. But that's why Vincent is my favorite hero character and number one on my top hero characters list. But anyways, I'm sure there are a lot of people that would disagree with my list, which is totally fair and totally understandable. And if you do, let me know. If not, and you agree with any of them, also let me know too. That would be kind of cool. And then if there's anyone that I missed, well, I guess that would also be in the people that hate it. So go ahead and say that too. That's pretty cool. But there we go. I'll do another one of these hopefully soon. But thank you so much for making it to the end. And be safe, be well, and I will see you all soon. I am the Crappy Gamer saying a toodaloo.